ongoing thing.
But in a short while, Sharath and his mother began to rethink and longed for his departure. He developed a vast friendship with a band of naughty boys which didn't allow any fruits to get ripen in the neighborhood. His friendship with the village mongrel dog turned the house upside down. But Kiran alone found happiness in supporting the boy. All the warnings of Sharath went in vain. She provided him clothes in abundance. She would always call him for his theatrical presentations, and afternoon hours passed merrily. Sharath had a cordial dislike towards the boy. Though the boy often got his ears boxed and pulled by Sharath, there was no notable change. He strongly believed the world was made up of eating and beating, in which beating played the predominant part. And slowly there develops a kind of strong relation between this boy and this family. And at first Nilakanta was a real help for the family, but later Sharath and his mother understood that he is also creating so many problems in the house, and also Nilakanta has joined a group of very naughty boys and created some problems in the neighborhood. And soon they want this boy to leave from their house. But Kiran always supported Nilakanta. There seems to be a brother-sister relationship between this boy and Kiran. Kiran always helped him, gave him lots of clothes, and also called him to do some theatrical performances for her in the afternoon. And she really enjoyed watching his performances. And many times Sharath gave punishments to Nilakanta, but there was no change in Nilakanta's nature. The boy often got his ears boxed and pulled by Sharath, but all these type of punishments did not make any change in Nilakanta's behavior. And Nilakanta also really loved Kiran for the affection and love shown to him by her. It was hard to tell his age from his face and his acts. His hairless, innocent face said he was about 14, but the smoke and words gushed out from his mouth suggested he was beyond 17, but everyone treated him as a small boy. He showed first signs of adulthood when he hesitated to be a lady companion to Kiran and to play the earlier feminine roles he had played. But his role as an acolyte to Kiran defended anything that came against him in the house. He had nothing to think about other than entertaining Kiran with his diverse performances. Here we can see a kind of brother-sister or a kind of mother-son relationship is growing between this boy and Kiran. Nilakanta was just a boy of 14 years of age, and he considered Kiran as his sister or his mother, and all his attempts were to entertain Kiran, and he showed different types of theatrical performances in front of her to entertain Kiran. His first preference is to entertain Kiran. And Kiran also showed her motherly love towards this boy, this orphaned boy, the victim of the storm, and she many times tried to teach him how to read and write. But this boy has no interest in reading, and he just acted like reading books, but actually was not able to read anything from the book because the alphabets were dancing in front of his eyes. Kiran's efforts to inculcate some scholastic elements in him turned into ashes as the destitute youth figured out that even the alphabets were dancing in the mist in front of his eyes. He has no interest in learning or reading any books. And Kiran tried to teach him how to read. But he developed the skill of casting his eyes blank on a page in the book for hours as if reading it. So he was just pretending to be reading some books. Actually, he has no interest in reading any books. When someone is coming that way, he will just look at the book and sit there like that. As if he is reading it. He would read it aloud when a hint of human presence is somewhere around him, even though it sounded perfect with full or trifling alliterations. The feeblest meaning was beyond his comprehension. It was just beyond his comprehension. He was not able to understand what is there in the book, but when he finds someone, he just act like reading a book, and actually he has got no interest in reading books. He felt everything to become music around him. The past life of the theatrical slave before the storm had completely faded out from his memory. The enchanting nature and his soothing presence of Kiran, who took up the roles of his sister and mother combined, became the music of his song, and off from her he would bring dozens of fresh complaints from his neighbors that eventually led to Sharath cuffing him. His spoiled followers would then come in search of him for some new ways of mischief. Now this boy Nilakanda is staying with his family, with Sharath and his wife Kiran. And there developed a kind of very friendly relation between Kiran and this boy. Kiran was like a sister and mother for Nilakanda. And after staying for some days in this house, the family really hated Nilakanda for doing this type of, for doing many mischief in the neighborhood. And Sharath didn't like this boy, but there was one person who is supporting Nilakanda, and that was Kiran. Because Kiran really loved this boy, and she felt great pity for this boy because he has just escaped from the death, and she really enjoyed his theatrical performances. Nilakanda also completely forgotten his past life as a slave of his master in the theater. And now he seems to be enjoying his life, especially his motherly affection towards Kiran. And this boy who got a new life once he just escaped from the storm is staying with this family, and he has become something like a member of the family. And Sharath, though Sharath did not like this boy very much, he allowed him to stay in their house, and the boy was very much attached to Kiran. And everything is changed when another member comes to this family. It was Sadish, the brother-in-law of Kiran, or Sharath's brother. Everything changed after the coming of Sharath's younger brother called Sadish. At that time, Sharath's younger brother Sadish came to spend vacation with them. Kiran was overjoyed by the presence of her brother-in-law of the same age, both always on the move. Rollicking with pearls of laughter, she would ride Monkey with vermilion on his back, and he put pepper among her beetle. So everything was going on well till a new member comes to this family, and that was Sharath's brother Satish. When Sadish came to the family, he was of the same age as Kiran, and Kiran's love and affection slowly changes to brother-in-law, and Nilakanta could not endure with this new change in Kiran. Really irritated Nilakanta. Meanwhile, no one knew how a cloud of unexplained wilderness hovered over Nilakanta. He would thrash his devotees for no reason and kick his pet mongrel or smash the leaves and twigs harshly with canes. After Sadish's arrival, Kiran had seldom got much time to spare serving Nilakanda's meals, which he had been doing so generously as he had an immense capacity of eating. After that, he left the hall without eating much. He would repeatedly say, "I am not hungry," thinking that it would bring Kiran to press him to finish. That didn't happen. Choking the pillow with his sobs became a usual occurrence. He jumped into the conclusion that some venomous trick of Sadish had made her angry against him. So, with the arrival of Sadish, there came a change in the attitude of Kiran and also Nilakanta, because Kiran now did not give much attention to Nilakanta, and this really made Nilakanta very unhappy. Because earlier Kiran used to feed him, always sitting by his side and asking him to eat more. Now he is not. Now she is busy. She didn't get time to take care of this boy, Nilakanta, and Nilakanta really felt it. He lost his interest, he lost his appetite, and he became angry for no reason. He feels that Satish is doing something wrong. He feels like Satish has done some kind of a magic, or Satish has done some kind of a trick on Kiran, so that Kiran is angry with him. This is what Nilakanta was thinking.